In this video, I'm going to go over how you can manipulate and interact with cameras in your 3D scene. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to your library panel, click on the cameras icon to see a list of all the available cameras, and simply click and drag a camera onto your scene like so. And once you release, you now have a camera object in your scene. Now, just like different object types, cameras have their own properties available specific to cameras, such as the focal length, and if your camera is on a rig, such as a tripod or a crane, you can control various aspects of that rig, such as the height, pan, and tilt. Or for a crane, the height and rotation. For all camera types, you can control the sensor size and the focal length directly within the Properties menu. So if I were to open up the little viewfinder menu here, you can see I have the focal length being controlled, as well as the sensor type, which impacts the range and ratio of your focal length to the camera body. Now this is just a basic preview of the camera, so of course if you want to edit the camera's position and movement in a much more detailed menu, you're going to want to go to shoot mode. So when I open up shoot mode, you can see a view of the currently active camera. Now to switch the active camera, you simply have to click on it, and that makes this camera now active. I'm going to use this free floating camera simply because it is the least restricted in terms of movement. So if I go into shoot mode, I can see this big viewfinder here, and all I have to do is just click and drag to look around, as well as use the same arrow keys or WASD controls as the scene mode to move your camera around the scene. Now I can control the various properties of the camera by moving my mouse over any one of these options over here and using the scroll wheel to adjust them. So I have aperture, focus distance, focal length, and exposure compensation on the EV scale. To automatically set the focus distance, you can also right-click anywhere in your scene, and it will attempt to get whatever object is directly in front of that and set the focus distance to that plane. Now on the left-hand side, you have a bunch of other options over here, such as rendering the camera's view, which allows you to export a timeline video, display composite for real-time compositing, edit color grading, which is the same menu as in stage mode, allowing you to edit color grading using fine controls, as well as change the aspect ratio. The rendering mode or recording mode depends on what you want to start recording when you click the recording button. You can output to spout, play timeline on record, adjust the camera's movement and rotation speed, and adjust various options of the lens. So you can add raindrop effects if you like, change the motion blur, the sensor noise, the pixel size of that noise, as well as an optional vignette around the edge of the screen. And when we talk about using the AR mobile app for camera tracking, options will appear here as well. Now, if you want to take a snapshot of your scene at this position, you can simply click the snapshot button over here, and that'll save the snapshot as an image in your project, along with any camera information at this point. To actually view that image, you can open up your project folder by clicking the folder button, and you can see your file structure, including image output. And here you have the images taken in your scene, as well as a view of the floor plan when that shot was taken. I'm going to talk about this more in the storyboard editor section of the playlist. You can also record your camera's motion by clicking record. And now every 0.1 seconds, it's going to be recording the motion to a keyframe on the timeline. And so when I'm finished, you can see if I open up the timeline, we now have the camera's motion recorded that I can play back. And if I render the camera view, that is what gets exported in that final video. And so with that, if you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.